But that's the game. That's the game, right? That's what it is. You get them to a point where they're comfortable with you and you playing Sweetie, my type, and they're fucking loving it, eating out of your hand. And then you say, all right, now that I got you here, taste this.
Yeah.
And you pull your cock out.
Well, alright. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin. That's what I love about the human soul. It'll usually show when the truth ain't told. You's a liar, I can smell it on you. Got the voice down packed, but your eyes are telling on you. Shame on you for stretching your mouth around
champ. The kids are back.
Hiatus.
It's been a bit of a hiatus. We did some traveling, but we reunited for episode 40, landmark episode. How far? I know we've had this discussion before. How far do we get on the original Strategy and Dolo show? I think it was like 90 something or 50 something.
You were always a big counter. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I
just kind of fucking
just go with it.
Hit record and let it roll, baby.
But I think we did count up how many videos we had well over 100. But
we labeled every time we put, every Tuesday we'd title the episode 31, 30, whatever it was. I think we got up to 50, I want to say.
No, it was way more than that.
More than that?
Yeah.
Maybe close to 100?
Yeah, because that would be we had done it for years.
Years, dog. We got years of this
baby.
Shit, bro.
I mean, if you add it all up, there's a lot of content.
There's definitely a lot of content. There's a lot on the internet. I'm now that we're in a new place and I'm meeting new people, and things have changed a lot. I've lost weight. I'm trying to be a little more clean on the internet because China's taking over and censorship's getting out of control, but that's a whole nother conversation. And I'm meeting people, and then like my boy Travis, who I met, I just seen him the other day, and he was like, bro, I've been like looking you up on the internet. And I'm like, who even knows what he could have seen? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like there is
this is a new person you've met?
Much, yeah.
And they're like, yo, you used to be a fucking piece of shit.
Well, not even, that, but also just think about the amount of content that's out there on Facebook, on our page. It's all out there.
Did he find good shit?
I don't even know. It was like a before dinner thing. He was like, oh man, I've been looking. I was like, oh, you got to tell me what'd you see, whatever. He's like, I'll talk to you after dinner. It never happened, but I was just thinking, like, what if he watched episode 33 of the Strategy and Dolo show, and we had fucking topics that we were talking about. I don't know what the fuck we talked about. You know what I mean? It's like, who knows what's on there?
I know my girlfriend, my current pretty much wife, baby mother, however you want to call it. She said that before we got together, she Googled me. And she saw the video Strategy and Dolo takes the high seas. You remember that one?
Yes, dude.
We're like fucking stacking girls' asses and like.
We had the little finger hand and we pretend like you dove into her ass
and got lost. And I was like, believe it or not, I didn't fuck any of those girls, but it was a good time.
Yeah. Always good times. But yeah, I mean, there's just so much. And I don't even know. I couldn't tell you what we talked about on episode 39 of this podcast. You know what I mean? It's kind of like this is in its own right, like an art form. You're just kind of coming here and you're like trying your best to just be in the moment and just express whatever it is that's happening. And you could get lost in that. You don't even know. I don't know what the fuck I said.
Well, that actually brings a good point. Do you think that in some respect, because we put out so much content, that some of it kind of just got washed under? Because some of what I felt was our best like promo videos and stuff like that, a lot of people, I don't know if they like ever even saw it. You know what I'm saying? Because like it kind of becomes one of those things. It's just like you're seeing it on your timeline. You just kind of swipe past it, which is like even when I look at other people's shit that create content, like I don't see everything they put out, and I don't place value in everything they've ever made because they've put out so much shit.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, I think more so what we were talking about on Wednesday with like we came into Houston at a certain level of we had built our brand to a certain point, and we came into Houston at that point. And for anybody that didn't grow with us until that point, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like all of the people that fucked with us back home, it made sense to them because they fucking watched us grow. They understand
and
us.
we had built our brand around certain things that weren't really orthodox. Like I don't know at the time.
A lot of dick jokes.
A lot of dick jokes. You know, like simple shit like when we used to fucking dog the shit out of anybody who had an Android. This is before that was
a thing.
that wasn't really a thing.
It wasn't really a thing.
I'm not gonna say we made it, but I didn't catch it from someone else and start doing it. Things like that, the Let's Go Champ stuff, like it's all stuff that like we pushed. And then I can only imagine for someone down here, and this city's very different.
Different
see
place.
These guys come and go, "Let's go, champ," with a dick around his fucking neck is like, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? And it didn't. I at first I was like, "Fuck these guys, they're fucking stupid." But now, a year later, I'm looking at it like, I get it.
Yeah, it's you just have to kind of understand it in that way. Like you can't just everything that we built somewhere else doesn't carry over to here. It's a different place. It's a new place. It's new people. It's very different. And I didn't even really know that was ever a factor in anything until I moved here. Like, I didn't think that if you came here, people were so much different than they are in Chicago. I didn't really think if you go to fucking North Virginia, is that even a place?
No, I don't think so, but it sounds good. Keep going. Or Vermont. We'll take Vermont, for instance.
Oh, Vermont's the worst place ever.
But, you know, when you're in a place, and I think especially, like, larger cities, that's kind of like a thought process. Like, all my friends in New York, like, that's their world is in New York. And they're like, why the fuck would anyone go anywhere else? Like, I don't know how people are outside of New York. That's how they think, you know? And they're like, why the fuck would I even care? Like, everything is here I need. Yeah. And it's kind of like that in Chicago, too. It's like, I'd imagine people are different that live in fucking the Bay. Obviously, I see what I see, but at the end of the day, you're like, they're just humans. We're probably really all the same. And then you go live somewhere, not just visit, but you live somewhere and you
definitely
really
makes
see
a difference.
The fucking patterns in people, and you're like, wow. But honestly, that brings me to my next point. After going back and visiting Chicago for the holidays, I'm not as mad at Houston as I was.
Yeah.
Chicago has changed. I'm not going to say I've changed. You know, some people, well, you moved, you changed. No. Chicago is the thing that's changed.
Well, we've definitely changed too.
Yeah, of course.
Because it used to kind of just be Chicago, you accept anything because that's where you live and it is what it is and that's where you operate. Now we have two different perspectives. I do, at least. I've never been anywhere else. Oh, sorry. And you have something to compare it to. So now when you go back to Chicago and it's like fucking all the COVID shit and all the vaccine passport and all the craziness and all the crime and like all this shit, and then you're like, damn, I don't like have to deal with this. Yeah. I'm excited to go back to Houston where it's fucking freedom and more relaxed and everything's fucking. I used to kind of hate it that it was like slow motion here, but now I'm enjoying it
to
more.
The pace.
I
yeah,
like
for
that.
Sure. Yeah, and that's another thing. Like a good example, like the crime. When you live there, it's like it's almost laughable. You're like, okay, yeah, it's funny. Like weather's getting warmer, people are getting shot, da 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 da. And then you go somewhere and you're like, but you know, do I have to live with its potential that there could be crossfire? I don't know. But the crime wasn't as much of a factor as the fucking the vaccine shit. Just the mentality of everyone. Just the fucking fear in people's eyes when you hear the word COVID. Like. Or the guy fucking making you cover your nose when we're getting coffee. Like, just the whole, all that shit was just like, ah.
That fucking fire truck driver.
Yeah, and then I went to fucking go out. Honestly, at first the night was very reminiscent of old times. I saw Mario at Bounce. That was like the highlight of the whole thing.
Mario,
the bathroom attendant, man.
Is he blessed?
Man, he's always blessed.
Is he blessed?
No, Dre's the one who's always blessed.
Yeah.
But I gave that dude a hug, and man, I hadn't been that excited to see somebody in a while. And I talked to him for a while, and we talked about Eddie and everything. And then I go upstairs, and I'm walking through Bounce, and I felt like a celebrity. Fucking Nick Rockwell's on the mic, on the turntables, shouts me out. Everybody's yelling. I'm like, whoa, I don't remember this kind of reception.
A lot of love, bro.
Lot of love. And that was dope. And I loved that. And, you know, the night went on, so on, et cetera. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I think for me, it's That's a no for me, dog. At this point.
Hey, yo, I feel the same exact way, brother. After that last trip, I mean, I'll never stop going there. I love visiting, even though it's fucking a little fucked up with the Vacs shit. But, you know, I luckily got all 3 when they were available right away. You know, I was obese at the time, so I signed up to get all 3 shots. I'm triple Vax. I got my card. You know what I'm saying? You just show the card and you're good to go.
Oh yeah. I need to get one of those triple shot cards.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, cool. That being said, I'm glad I live in a place where they don't force me at this point to do that.
It's very nice, bro. And
it's refreshing.
Like, I am now trying to tell people, you know, before I was like, oh, man, Houston, it ain't it. Right. But now I'm kind of like, this is kind of it.
There are definite advantages.
This is kind of it. Just the fact that it's not a strain on your mental health 24/7 of that just worry, fearful, sad, just covered up.
Yeah.
Everyone's
it doesn't feel like it's apocalypse, you know.
Yeah, it's a terrible feeling. You walk into a Target and you just want to kill yourself. Yeah. It's crazy.
I've been unfollowing a lot of people, and I'm trying to unfollow anyone who posts anything political. That's my thing this week, and it's been kind of relieving.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Because I find myself fighting not to post political shit because I feel so strongly at this point about the thing. But I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. So I'm like, the only way I can stop from being that guy is to eliminate the temptation and just unfollow these people. And most of them are shitbags anyway. But I'm not gonna say I'm just unfollowing people with different political views. I'm unfollowing anyone who posts anything about COVID.
Anyone who's too far either way.
Yeah.
Even though I do like to go, like, listen, I don't follow Joe Maz, but like I'm gonna go check on him and see what's going on.
He spit some fucking facts. I don't know.
I don't want that on my timeline.
Right.
I know that for a fact. But you know, you gotta go. You do your weekly Joe Maz check.
Yeah, you just to see how crazy shit is. But I'm saying I'm at the point where I don't even want to see the shit that I want to see because it becomes such a part of you. It becomes so. I saw myself slipping down that slope into like the fucking hard right wing, which I never consider myself anything. I never fucking voted in my life. Never. I don't give a fuck.
I never thought politics even mattered.
It kind of like, if this is all by design, they're fucking good. The Russians have fucking succeeded, or whoever, fucking Soros or whatever, because it became a point where I was just like sliding in, and I'm just like, anybody who gets the vaccine, I hate them. I hope they die. And I'm like, I don't want to be that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
you don't want to be that.
I gotta
and
just
they make it hard. They make it hard to not be that.
Really hard.
They make it fucking hard,
good.
Man.
Well, because all these pages that post shit like that, like, and the craziest thing is, in today's day and age, it's not just political pages that post it. Every page has to post it because that's what gets the engagements, and that's like that's the whole self-destructive thing about this whole thing is that it's all about engagement, and they figure out politicizing shit is what engages viewers. It's what gets comments, whether they're good or bad, and that's all they want at the end of the day. But they don't give a fuck that they're destroying people. But
they know exactly how our brains work. I mean, when I'm thinking about things, almost any thought I have gets put into my phone somehow, whether it's, oh, shit, I got to text this guy because I need to buy these speakers and remind him that I'm getting them, or oh, I wonder if gay ducks suck each other's dicks underwater or above water. I'm going to Google it. You know what I mean? Like anything that goes through my head is most likely also going to go into my phone.
Yeah.
So they are so tapped into our heads. And when I say they, I'm just talking about the technology of our phone. It knows us better than we know us, and we're just getting played. We're getting strung along.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's all it is.
This is just like any movie about the future and robots taking over because they're smarter than we are. The robots just aren't walking fucking metal creatures.
We are the robots.
The robots are the phones.
We are the robots.
Well,
I've come to that conclusion the other day. Like, we are the fucking robots. The robot apocalypse where the robots take over, it's not like some other metal thing that's going to like come kill us. We are going to turn into the robots.
Yeah.
We are the robots.
It's
happening right now.
I mean, I think I have
Listen,
a lot of thoughts.
This conversation calls for a little
Spark of the joint.
thinking juice.
A little thinking. I think this, okay? I think that for whatever reason, whether it's population control or whatever it is, they want us to fucking kill each other. They want the world to become World War III. And I think that people became, with technology, we became so, that communication became such a thing that it's like a government can't just tell you, the Chinese are bad. They fucking want to kill you. So you need to go to war with them. You know, like they would in World War II or whatever the fuck. So now they're like, well, we have to just play them against each other by using the same technology that's prevented wars to cause the next wars.
I personally don't think that it's like a population control kind of thing where or they're forcing us into a war with each other for the purpose of war. I feel like it's a byproduct of them just trying to cover their asses and keep making their money and doing their thing. Like these people that control shit and are, you know, have all the money and all that, those motherfuckers, the deep state, whatever the fuck it is, whoever they are, like they're just trying to keep doing their thing and bring their money in. And the byproduct of that is us getting fucked. Get more information on them. Make the algorithms so that they're spending longer times on the phone, this and that, because the phone is what gives us our income. We get the ad money, this, whatever the fuck it is. I think I don't think it's like a master plan to blow the world up. You know what I'm saying?
It's just a byproduct of greed, of the nature of the beast.
Of them, of like, yeah, like I don't think fucking there's any single doctor who is, very popular with the CNN crowd that's responsible for this entire pandemic. You know, I don't
That'd
think
be crazy.
I think that it was just like small fuck ups along the way. Like imagine anytime something got fucked up in your life.
Did you see when the emails came out and he was like, oh, sorry, I hadn't slept, so I told him to wear these masks. And then it's like, well, you can't go back on that now because you're supposed to be the smartest doctor in the world.
Right.
And then it's like, wear 2 masks. And then
and that's what I think. I don't think that was like some plan of him like, all right, I'm going to we're going to do this virus, we're going to release it, and this is going to happen. We're going to sell masks.
Do you think this guy, how does he sleep at night knowing that like he's
Dude, I think he's fucking shaking in his boots, dog.
I think he's an evil motherfucker. When I look at him, I'm like, this motherfucker just looks evil. He looks like a fucking little reptilian piece of shit.
He looks like a fucking nerd motherfucker that got into a position of power and bit off more than he could chew. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you see the way that anybody who never had power loves the power they get from this shit. I mean, police don't have power anymore at the moment.
I mean, I'm talking about more like the kid who never had any fucking friends and then became a police officer to have some power.
Yeah.
I mean, power is fucking addictive as pussy. I mean, the thing is, like, that's why it's important not to give them too much power, because once they have the power, they don't want to give it back.
No, exactly. 100%. Nobody would. Even if somebody gave me some kind of power, I'm not saying like these people are evil. It's like human nature. Like I'm the same. If somebody gave me some crazy power, all this money, if someone was like, hey, you can control all these people right here, and we're going to give you $10 million a day, and have a good one. I'm going to be
and then people were like, hey, can you let us control ourselves? You're going to be like, no.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, yeah, I think I got this. You know what I mean?
You'd make a great politician. All right. That's too much political talk.
Yeah. Let's talk about DJing. Let's talk about DJing because I feel like I'm re-falling in love with DJing. I feel like I'm learning more about DJing.
Right.
As I'm DJing, because I never really cared about it before. The focus was always content. We know how to DJ. Right. DJing, you put me in a room full of people, I can DJ just as good as anybody else you might think about putting in that room. So it's not about DJing, it's about bringing people's eyes to the brand. Now I'm sort of more focused on DJing, and I'm really fucking enjoying it.
I just wanted to see if we're still live with Club Killers. Shout out to Club Killers. We're still live.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry. The only reason I say that is because it's been a little while since I noticed that. So, yeah, let's talk DJing. Shout out to all the Club Killers people watching, because there are actually people watching. DJing is definitely second nature at this point.
It's second nature.
But with that, it becomes kind of repetitive. It's hard. it's hard for me to get excited about playing the same fucking 100 songs.
Well, that's kind of that's the direction I wanted to head, was like doing new and fun and different shit, and like taking risks, and even not with song selection. I feel like I've been taking a lot more risks with my transitions and the way that I'm going from one song to another, and I'm really enjoying the art of DJing.
You're a big scratcher. I
yeah.
mean, so that, I think, in itself makes, if you have a different scratch pattern or you're scratching out of a song with a different phrase, I could see that helping. Myself, not a big scratcher.
No,
so,
but it's the same thing. Even with song selection, you're deep. You're fucking deep. You're deep.
I try and go deep. But the problem is this. The audience doesn't always go as deep. But so sometimes I'll have like some fire shit that I found, or like, dug up or whatever, and I'll be like, I'm going to hit them with this. And then I hit them, and they're just like.
But that's the game. That's the game, right? That's what it is. You get them to a point where they're comfortable with you, and you're playing Sweetie, My Type, and they're fucking loving it and eating out of your hand. And then you say, all right, now that I got you here, taste this. Yeah. And you pull your cock out.
That is the game.
You know
and
what
I think
I'm saying?
maybe I've because of like the repetitiveness of fucking DJing 6 times a week or 7 times a week, maybe I've gotten a little too safe, where I'm like, I don't feed them that extra thing.
That's what I'm saying. I like fell in love with DJing, and I try and keep that. It's hard to be in that mind state, because you always slip back to like, Jesus Christ, I'm in a prison that I'm in Groundhog Day. Yeah,
yes,
I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
But I mean that helps. And there's even a point that I've noticed now that like when you can stay away from staring at your laptop and really let the music sink into your ears, and you're actually fucking blending 2 songs at the same time and having a good time and doing something up there, like using the skills that you've acquired over the last 15 years for you, 12 for me, for you.
Almost 20.
20 years for you.
18, 19.
Fucking, you know what I'm saying? That's what they're there for. Give them a little fucking show. Pull your dick out a little bit.
Here's the thing, though. And I don't know if we've talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about it again.
Let's fucking talk about it.
This is the problem. And this is, when I think about it, this has kind of always been an issue with DJs that are like a little bit on the deeper spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so like when I think of like cats like the captains of the industry, deep. But what's deep to them might not be deep to this 21 to 25-year-old crowd. To them, a 21 to 25-year-old, their heyday was 10 years ago, right? So if you play a 10-year-old track, that's old school jam. Now they might know something their parents listened to, but they're not going to have that same emotion to it. So when I think about like when the DJM era was, right? When AM was playing throwbacks, he was playing 80s shit like the Human League and fucking, I don't know, whatever, the fucking Outfield and shit like that, right? So that was like the cool throwbacks. But to me, at that time, I was 21, 22,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking like, I never fucking really liked the Human League. It's good music, it's cool, I enjoy the way it sounds, but it doesn't hit a nostalgic string for me.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas for him, maybe if he was 30 at the time or whatever, it did. So what worries me, okay, is that when I go out there and I play a throwback that's a rare throwback, maybe it only resonates in my heart because it has a connection to me, and maybe this crowd that's 10 years younger than me doesn't.
But you can make them feel that.
Yeah.
Now listen.
All right, I'm listening.
I know I smoked a little bit of weed here.
I might have a contact high.
But you can make them, you can force that on them. You can fucking force that
fucking
on them.
music.
Yes, you can do that.
When you're in a
you
position,
can get them to be just okay enough with taking that. They'll be like, oh, fine. You did so well these last 5 songs. I drank tequila. I love my girls. I came here. Track. Yeah. If you, I trust you. Everything so far has been good. I'm not into this really, but if you're into it, I'll take it.
Okay.
But then you have to get back to their shit. You know what I mean? You can't keep going down that road.
But what I'm getting at, I guess what I'm trying to say here is that, like, I feel like the crowd that I would connect with would be my age. And the problem is that'd be like me DJing for fucking weddings. And I don't want to fucking segue. I'm like stuck in this purgatory of DJing in clubs because it took so long to get to a point where I can that I've almost outdated myself. Now, don't get me wrong. I know all the new music. I fucking listened to Gunna's new album. Came out today. I'm up on the shit. I fuck with it. I'm not out. You're not fucking taking my spot yet, young buck.
Yeah,
but
dog. My guy's got years.
My
guy's got years.
I do say that to say that the nostalgic side of me is kind of like that crowd has grown on from the nightclub circuit. You know what I'm saying? And for me to connect with them is going to places that I don't want to go because I've seen DJs in the past transition. Yeah. And I'm not ready to go.
So to me, we're talking about two different things. Like that sounds incredible to DJ for people that share the same nostalgic music taste as me. Like that would be amazing. I would love to do that. But you're talking about just fucking forcing this down their goddamn throats. No, I'm talking about luring them in. I'm talking about throwing a little fucking spinner out there and reeling it in slowly, and it's fucking shiny and going past them, and they're like, whoa, what is that? You know? And then they fucking follow it, and you snag them. They bite it, and you fucking snag them, and then they're hooked. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about.
You're either talking about fishing or luring in children. I can't tell, but I get what you're saying.
I'm talking about luring in children, and not children under the age of 21. I'm talking about the children that are in the club.
So, like, okay, not kidnapping, like 20-something napping.
I'm talking about fucking face napping. I want to take their faces and say, listen to this. This goes fucking well with whatever else I was doing that you were enjoying.
And you can find those ways of doing that. Okay, perfect example, when the old head DJs were flipping like the old samples with the hip hop shit. Yeah. That was a good way for them to show their nostalgic roots and transfer it to a 90s or 2000 something crowd. I guess you could do that. I mean, you know, a lot of the Latin artists have been like sampling, but you know what's fucked up? Is that the samples they're using are even beyond my era. They're sampling shit from the 2000s. Oh, like my heart is in 94, 95 still.
Yeah.
And now, granted, I was only 10 years old, but that was when I like really fucking fell in love with the music. And that, to me, like when I sent you that Sleeping on Gems thing, I don't know if you even probably looked at it.
Yeah, the hip-hop songs.
Yeah, it was like all hip-hop songs from 95. And I was like, yo, 95, 94, 95, 96 even a little bit. But I felt like the music was changing in 96. But 94, 95 more specifically was like, that was like the realest, like, that was when I was like a hip hop head. That was when I was like, this fucking music has like a feeling to it. You know what I'm saying? When I listen to it now, I get that same feeling and it excites me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make any sense to play that in a bottle service club ever. And I'm just being real. There's no appropriate time. Okay, maybe at the end of the night you can play.
What about if you threw in Lucchini like hook only?
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that one. There's a couple other ones you could throw the hook.
But those are the ones that we all know. There's still ones in there that we don't know. Not everyone knows. Everyone knows Lucchini. That's like a go-to. If you have to play some East Coast hip hop shit in the club, that's what you play. There's small snippets of those things. That's what it is. It's uncovering those.
Yeah,
it's uncovering those little gems that you get to throw in that pile.
But did the Lucchini carry over because DJs were playing it 10 years ago and still playing it in their old crates that people even know it now? Now, if I was to go back to 94 and dig something up, they're going to be like, I have no fucking clue. Now, I could easily dig something up from 2000 that they're going to share some sort of connection to.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I just think too much. This is why I can't smoke weed, because if I smoked weed, it'd be even a longer conversation. At least I can pull out of it.
You just got to know when to tell yourself to shut the fuck up. You just be like, should I play this? Yeah, fucking play it. Who gives a fuck?
You're right.
You're up here. You're the guy.
Tonight at Bottle Blonde for the Strategy and Dolo show here in Houston, Texas, 3109 Washington Street.
Let's go.
Come check out some weird shit I'm going to play.
Yeah.
Tell me if you like it.
I've seen you pull your dick out in the club before, and this is no different. I've seen you pull your dick out.
He's not speaking metaphorically.
Legit, I've seen you take your cock out in the club.
Yeah.
This is no different. It's just a metaphorical cock. It's a musical cock. It's like the thing that the composer holds and fucking swings at the orchestra. Mm-hmm. It's a cock-shaped one of those.
Okay, and then instead of putting it in a girl's mouth, I'm putting it in the audience's ear. Yes. The good old days of getting my dick. You know, I was telling. This is funny that you brought that up because I was telling AJ. I think it got brought up like Wednesday or something. It was like random or something, and I was like, he was like, "Yo, oh yeah." I think like somebody was making out in the club. He might have been like finger blasting a girl, and then I was like, "Yeah, I've got my dick sucked in the DJ booth before." And he's like, "Haha." And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Seriously, I've gotten my dick sucked in the DJ booth." He's like, in the middle of the club while I was like going. I was like, "Yeah." I was like, and I got my dick sucked in the middle of towel on the dance floor. Yeah.
Big facts.
So
speaking of towel, January 30th. Good segue, no?
Yeah. I think that was perfect.
Good segue, no? Is it January 30th? Is that the date?
Yes, I booked the flight. I hope that's the date because that's the day I booked the flight.
6 to 11 p.m. Eddie Mills, the fucking goddamn legend. I feel like we got to talk about Eddie a little bit. At least a little bit.
The people need to know. Anybody who doesn't know Eddie Mills was Chicago's unsung hero.
Legit.
Because I'm not going to sit here and like make up shit. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, when Dante said in that group chat about the thing about why are we doing it at a place where he wasn't really playing, I felt that.
I respected that.
That.
Honestly, well, here's the thing. He did play there.
Yeah,
he
did
play there. We found out he does. But I respected the fuck out of Dante for saying that just because he thought he didn't play there. Like, that's legit. I respect
Because here's the thing. He was an unsung hero. More of his sets were opening sets. You know what I'm saying? But he was a legend in the game. And he, like, the motherfucker had Grammys. Yeah. Like, I don't got no Grammys. You got Grammys?
I have 0 Grammys. I don't even have a shot at a Grammy.
The man, they're definitely not giving us any Grammys. The man has been putting in work for a minute. And he was a really humble, really good dude, very uplifting. Every DJ, but he was also somebody everybody knew and respected. Not just because, like, he was there. Because, I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of DJs in Chicago that I didn't respect. But Eddie Mills was not one of those people. He was one of those people who would, like, hit everybody up, inspire you. You know what I'm saying? Like, those late-night calls, man.
He was the dude who loved DJing so much that he had to make sure that we kept it pure. Like, he was that voice for the nightclub DJ. Like, sort of the conversation we just had was, like, doing what you do. Make sure you fucking play shit to give to these people. Don't just give them what they want. Give them what you think they would want. You know, he was always about that. He was always about start your own party. Like, always dropping gems, trying to give advice because he fucking did all this. I feel it's so much more like now. You know, like I couldn't have told you any of this about Eddie 5 years ago.
Though
I could only say it now.
We did talk about his calls because we would, anytime the phone would ring, it'd be Eddie. We'd get so excited and we'd put it on the speakerphone
bro.
Because he was gonna drop some gems and he was also a funny guy.
He's hilarious, and you knew that he was calling you because he was laying there or whatever and thinking about some shit that we did or something he watched, and he's like, "Oh, bro, I gotta call these guys and tell them how much I liked it and how much more. Like, keep going." That was his phone call always. Keep going.
Something resonated in my mind, and it kind of goes full circle with what we were talking about and with the Eddie Mills thing. And this is not a shameless plug. I just thought about this the other day, and I was like, he told me, he said, you need to make mixes of the shit that you listen to in your lowrider. And I remember fighting him about it a little bit. Not fighting, but like arguing with him a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
he was the old guy. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was
but like, we would talk about like deep old school cuts. And like, he always knew the shit. And I would go hear him at disco. And disco, he would play headliner sets for sure. And he would play the deep shit, like the real shit. And he told me, man, please do that. You got to do that. And I never did it. And I wish I would have. And I'm going to do it now. And I'm not going to put his name on it and in a way of like fucking shamelessly plugging it. You know what I'm saying? But that like was on my heart. That like, that resonated in my mind when I was thinking about him the other day. And I was like, man, I got to really do that.
Yeah, bro. I find myself.
I'm going to really do that.
I find myself becoming him more and more every day, becoming that older DJ.
You become the OG.
You try and fucking help the kids. They don't want to listen. You know, like you said, you fought him about it. You were he was probably like, you got to do this, and you were like, nah, my time's better spent making these fucking videos because it's gonna bring me in more money, this and that. But he fucking knows.
He would say something like, "It's not all about the money."
He fucking knew,
and
he
it's
knew.
True.
He lived it. It's coming from here. You know,
because
what I mean?
you have to. And that's why I think he would play places like disco, because he knew that like it was important to like make it feel like exciting for you again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Because he could play a set at Underground and know what the people wanted. You know what I'm saying? And he would play the songs that they wanted. And I say this up until the end, but I mean, we had moved out a year ago, so I hadn't heard him in a while. But he had kept up with everybody up until then. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like when you would go hear him, you would feel like you're listening to some old person. You know what I'm saying?
No.
He knew what the new shit was, but he also knew that it was important to like stay true to the music that he loved.
Yeah, for sure. And I love that he, you know, like he was the it's about music, it's not about social media, dude. Like, I'll never forget when I came to the back room of Underground one night after fucking DJing at Stout. You know, Eddie's closing the back room. You're up in that fucking DJ booth with that fucking bitch Light Tech. And he like pulls out his phone. It was Twitter. It was a tweet from Architect that was like, "Just spilled salsa on my bed sheets," or, you know, like one of those stupid tweets that you just think sounds funny in your head, so you say it. And Eddie's like, "What the fuck is this, man?" He's like, "Talk to your boy." He's like, "Tell him to fucking, no one cares about his salsa and his bed sheets. Tell him to fucking scratch, like practice or something." He's like, "What's up with your boy?" It was amazing. I fucking love it.
Man, that was Eddie though. Yeah, he was from a different time. I mean, Eddie Acid, right? That was his thing. You know, that was like his old school persona. But like he was one of those guys who stuck with it, man, and he fucking helped the kids. He would teach DJing to kids, underprivileged kids, for a long time. I know towards the end he was doing it like the schools on the north side at the British Academy, which definitely not unfortunate kids, but he was still teaching. You know what I'm saying? That was who he was. He was about passing on this
passing. Yeah, he understood that DJing's a special thing, and you have to pass it down. He would always say that too. You got to find someone to be able to help them the way he would tell me the way that Architect helped you. Mm-hmm. You know, you got to be able to do that for somebody.
And you've done that. I am a selfish piece of shit, and I'm always worried about losing gigs. So unfortunately, I don't think I've ever really mentored any younger DJ. I should probably do that at some point. But
it's nice. It keeps you ingrained in the game too, because like you'll never forget the person that helped you. You know what I mean? Like if like we're in a position now to book somebody. So if Architect was like, "Yo, I'm gonna be in Houston," it's a no-brainer. Like, boom, you're in. Like, what date? You know what I mean? So, and you get the same treatment from somebody that you help. It's,
well, I guess it's
staying connected. It's all,
because I don't really feel okay. There was like one guy who would be like the closest thing to a mentor that I ever had, but I never really had like. I mean, that's why the Dolo name came about, was because I never really knew any other DJs, and I also came up in the time where like, well, at least this is how I felt at the time. Was like nobody wanted to fucking help anyone because everyone's fucking worried about losing money. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I don't want to fucking teach this kid how to do it, and then he's gonna fucking take my gig. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I still feel that way to this day. But I know that's not like the thing to do anymore. So I'm sorry. I'm an old fucking grumpy piece of shit.
Old motherfucker.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it is important, and I think when I find the right young sprout that I feel has some sort of, honestly, I guess you could say Max was your one of your proteges. I mean,
Max,
he knew definitely how to DJ before you met him, but you really brought him into the game, and obviously he's flourishing. He's pretty much on the top of the game in Chicago right now. So shout out to Max. But I feel like Max recognizes that. You know what I'm saying? I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, not that I feel like he needs to.
No, not that he owes you, but just that like
you just have to understand that the only thing that you owe is to somebody else. You know what I mean?
Forward,
you don't.
right?
You don't owe anything to me. You do owe something, but it's not to me. You owe it to somebody else. Like you just have to pass the torch.
Pay it forward. We
you
call
know?
it. Pay it forward.
But I forgot what I was gonna say. Fuck! It's the weed. Fuck! It does it every time.
It's like a toxic girlfriend. It's a good sex, lots of fucking arguing.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
That's
fucking
bad
pass the
analogy.
torch. Oh, the other thing is like it keeps you fresh too, because like if you're helping somebody out, right, who just started, their set of problems is something that you kind of forgot about because you're past that level, right?
Yeah.
Like they might call you up and be like, "Yo, I'm doing Tuesday nights over here, but this spot hit me up and wants me to do it for $100 more." And you have to be like, "Oh, because you know how it works. We've done this."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're like, "Okay, well, how loyal is this place to you? Do they have your back? How many other nights a week do you work there?" Like you give them all the factors that play in.
And to anyone who's watching this who might have that issue, I would also say don't just jump on the money. Give the place you're with the foresight to maybe potentially give you the same bag, because they might say, "Hey, listen, you've been good with us. It's worth paying you the extra $100 now."
Exactly.
Don't just leave because you might leave and this fucking place might flop or they might fucking bring. I've had places, I'm not gonna say any names, that fucking gave me a residency and I crushed it and everything was good, and then they're like, "Oh no, that was a monthly residency," and I'm like, "A monthly residency? What the fuck is a monthly residency?" They're like, "No, we'll have you back on, but we're trying to do a new resident every month." I'm like, "Listen, that's not exactly how this works."
How
When I
residency
left
works.
my last place and told them, "Kiss my ass, I'm getting more money." But you live and you learn.
You learn those things, and then that's what you pass down to somebody else. And through giving that information out, it reminds yourself of that information, you know, because like that's like locked in the back of your head. It's not something you think about anymore.
Yeah.
But when someone asks you about it, then it comes back up and it becomes relevant again at some point, you know, like you're going to be in another situation like that. And it's just good. It keeps you fresh, keeps your mind working, reminds you how you fucking made it. All it's fucking beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing.
I feel like I'm 10 years behind. And like I'm accepting of that. I like that. I enjoy that. I'm just gonna basically pretend like I'm 22 years old instead of 32.
I
so
like that.
all of the things that like a 32-year-old person is supposed to have done by now, kids, wife, these things, I'm gonna get there, but it's gonna be at 42. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm operating.
10 years of fucking. You're good.
It gives me, what it really gives me is 10 years to watch all of you guys figure it out.
Yeah.
And I'm just, I'm taking in the data. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm playing the slow game. You guys test out the waters for me, and I'll see what works
You've
best.
always been a very educational approach to everything. You know, well educated. My thing, honestly, I'm only 4 years older than you, but I was kind of the same way, because I think when I met you, I was close to your age, right? A little younger, maybe around 31, 32. And I lived the early life, right? I got married at 19. A kid at fucking all that. Wait, hold on. That sounded wrong. A kid at fucking 19. Anyways, yes. So I had a child. I was married fucking 5 years, divorced. Missed that whole like 21 fucking wild crazy era, even though I was getting fucked up and living wild, but I wasn't like,
it was in
single.
a different way,
right? I was like doing it with my wife at the time and arguing about it. Anyways, don't recommend that to anyone. But then I always had in the back of my head was like, man, like I kind of missed those like 5 years, so I'm like, really, I can just call him whenever. So when I was like 30, I was like, I'm really just like 25. Because I got divorced at 25. So I missed that, era of being single. So I went kind of crazy. And that was like around the time when I met you. And I was living like a 21-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Like doing stupid shit.
So you feel me. You feel what I'm saying.
I feel you. That's what I'm saying. It's totally legitimate because I was there a few years ago. So. Yeah. But I mean, DJing is one of those things where it's like, everybody knows, there's older DJs. But it does become I don't want to say this and sound like I'm complaining, but it does become somewhat of a struggle to keep up with younger people. Now, I know mentally and maybe technically I could keep up with any motherfucking 21-year-old DJ. But when it comes to fucking drinking and being out till fucking 4 a.m., 6 nights a week, 7 nights a week, it gets a little more difficult when you pass that 35 mark. I would say it gets more difficult when you pass the 30 mark. 30 is about like when you're like, whoa, like my body, my knees, like I feel this in the morning a lot more.
Yeah, that's when you have to start understanding how to, like, you have to fucking drink water. You have to stay hydrated. You have to take care of yourself. If you're going to go out and drink, next day you're in the fucking gym, hit the sauna, detox it out, do it again. Like I feel like I've had to come to this fucking routine now.
I need to get on that because, you know, I was talking with Anarchy the other day when I was DJing, and it was at Polecats, and it was like 3 a.m, and I was like, bro, I'm so tired. I'm so fucking shot. And I don't know how old he is, but
he's older than you. I don't know.
Mean, black don't crack.
If I had to guess, I think he's like older, but yeah, I mean, he looks like he's fucking 18. Yeah. 18-year-old soccer player, fucking like superstar.
Black don't crack. So he tells me, he's like, bro, you need to go to the gym. Just immediately. Like, he already knew exactly what I was going through, and I was like, you know what, you're right. But it's easier said than done. Because here's the thing. Right now is a really tough time to start working out. Because everybody's on their fucking New Year, New Me shit, and it's going to be packed in the gym, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with that.
You're just making excuses, dog.
You're right.
That's all it is.
Right,
it's just excuses.
Right.
Hey, I only recognize it because I do it myself.
It's hard.
I do the same thing, and I have to tell myself the same thing. I have to say, shut the fuck up. You're just making excuses.
Yeah.
You know?
You're right.
It's tough. But after 10 minutes of being in there, it's just lovely. You just start to realize and remember why you go. It's like, oh, yeah, this is good. I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good. That's what my head is saying when I'm in the gym. I'm on the Stairmaster and saying, good. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I hear when I'm on the Stairmaster.
Is that really what you hear?
Yes. I'll be listening like the Pusha T album, you know what I mean? You know, a fucking Richard Mill on a leather band. Good! It's crazy.
Your neighbors probably fucking love you.
I've never had complaints.
I mean, these are pretty solid walls.
Yeah.
It's a newer construction.
Yeah, it's a newer construction. Right. It's decent.
Or they might be terrified of you.
Sometimes I yell in the shower. Sometimes when I'm in the shower, a cold shower, you fucking just let one rip. You just scream as loud as you can.
A Winhoff technique?
Bro, you could literally just feel like the stress melt off your body as you're getting deeper into that scream. As you're fucking really coming from the core. It's like some Viking shit, bro. It would unlock some ancient Viking shit for you.
That might be true. But it might also be the outcome of smoking a bunch of weed before you get in the shower.
Yeah, that's always a possibility.
I remember when I used to smoke, and that was like one of my favorite things. Showering and fucking were like the best things on weed. Yeah. Fucking on weed is like swimming in a vagina.
It's amazing.
It's different.
Even making out high is
anything that like stimulates anything in your body, like a massage, anything. It's all better high.
Speaking of massages,
don't fucking look at me like that.
Your boy went in, bro. I got the itch the other day. I haven't been to a Thai massage spot in months.
Thai massage spot, yes.
And I went Thai masseuse shopping. I set my entire day, dedicated it to getting the best Thai massage. I wasn't ready to settle for any Thai massage. I would walk in and I'd be like, oh, do you have an appointment available? I'm checking her out. I'm seeing who's available. Oh, this is the masseuse? Okay. No good. Oh, I left my wallet in the car. I'll be right back. Head to the car. Skirp. I'm out. Next one. I did that 3 times before I landed.
I remember those days.
I landed on the perfect one. This woman was incredible, bro. The only problem is that it's in a neighborhood. It's in like a suburban neighborhood. It's a home that was converted into a business. It literally just says massage and a phone number. And like you walk, and across the street from them is like townhomes.
It sounds like it would make a great TV show, like Weeds, but like with a prostitute instead.
I mean, I walked out of that bitch. I felt so good after. I was like, damn, this was fucking fire.
How did she look?
Was
she
worth
hot?
It. She was hot.
Really?
No regrets. And then I open the door and like the sun hits me in the face and I'm looking around. Someone's like walking their dog past me and I'm like, oh my God, everybody knows what just happened to me.
Like that fucking guilt.
You know, that feeling of like, oh, they know.
Oh, I hated that.
They know.
And I would always leave like in Chicago going out of like, they're like really seedy. You know, you can tell it's like out of a movie, like massage. And like everybody looks at you and they're like, you fucking sick fuck.
It's the worst feeling ever, bro.
Well, it's funny that you would bring up the massage thing because I was actually talking with my girlfriend today, like a few hours ago.
Yeah.
When I got the green light
to get a releasing massage.
Yes. The only rule was it has to be an old lady. Sign me up.
That's what they call mental jujitsu, my friend.
No.
You fucking cracked the code. I mean, I don't want to ruin it for you live on the air here, but we know that you like old ladies.
I don't like. That's so fucked up. I'm not gonna say I've never had sex with an older woman. Okay. I'm not gonna say the kid's never been with a MILF or two. But I don't think she's talking about a MILF. I think she's talking more about like.
It's like an ancient lady,
typical,
not an old lady, an ancient lady.
Like your typical, which is actually probably a more affordable approach at this whole thing, too.
Well, if you remember the Russian lady from Arizona, she was pretty old and affordable.
But, here's the thing. Maybe it's because I have more bills now with the whole, atomic family that I have going on. But I feel, or maybe it's the lowrider taking all my money. But I feel more guilty going to massage parlor just because I'm like, fuck, man, do I need to waste $100, $150? Well, it used to be $100. You say it's now about $150 is the going rate, right?
Yeah, it's definitely gone up with inflation.
I can jerk off for free.
And here's the thing. I think really, when I first heard it, I thought that you had ran the mental jujitsu, but I think that your girl did for. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it,
tell me.
I think that your girl
is
that's a power play on her part because who the fuck really wants to get jerked off by the old lady? I mean, I just told you I started this story by telling you that I fucking skipped 3 massage parlors because they were old ladies. I don't want that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I never gave a fuck when it came to the massage parlor. I'm like, just massage me and fucking get the poison out of me, and we're good. Like, as long as it doesn't have a dick. Jerk me off. We're good. That's my only condition. Maybe that's weird. I don't know. It's also because I'm not fucking them. They're not naked. I don't want to see half of them naked.
It is definitely more of an exchange of goods than it is like a sexual experience.
Yeah, because the last thing I want to do is,
like you're not.
If I think about every time that I've ever been to a wacky, what do you call them?
Time massage.
Time massage. Okay. Sounds a lot better. Anytime I've ever been to a time massage, the last thing I ever wanted to do was fucking like touch them or kiss them or anything.
Yeah, it's not a sexual. It's not like the experience that you're having when you're making love to your girl or any woman is not the same experience that you're having when a Thai masseuse is jerking you off and whispering things into your ear. It's like comparing basketball to football. They're 2 different games.
Yeah.
I don't even think they should be looked at as the same as they're not even being played on the same field.
That's for sure they're not being played on the same field. If field is a fucking metaphor for anything, it's definitely not the same field. One's like a smooth astro field.
Like a hardwood,
and the other
like
one's
a basketball
like playing
court.
in a rocky sand lot. I don't know.
Yeah, like a turf, like a hard turf football field
with rocks in it.
Yeah, like The Longest Yard, like the field from The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler.
Never seen it. I saw it on Netflix. I was gonna watch it.
You're sleeping, dog. You're schluffing, dog.
That's the one where he coaches the inmates, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know of it. I remember seeing the commercials.
I mean, Exhibit's in it, bro. What more did you not see that Exhibit was in it?
No, it just showed Adam Sandler. Wait, is he acting it?
I could be making this up, but for some reason, something's telling me that Exhibit's in that movie.
I'm only going to watch it, and if we can watch it together and have a drinking game, and every time Exhibit says dog, we do a shot.
No. We need to watch fucking Louis C.K. That's what we need to do right now.
All right, let's turn this shit off.
Let's fucking turn this off. And if you haven't seen Louis' new fucking special to the 3.5 people that watch this podcast, it's available on his website, and you need to do that and just brighten your day just a little bit. You listen to this man talk, and it makes you feel better about life.
Do you have a link? Are you getting paid off this? Or?
I'm not getting paid. This is strictly, I mean, this is the Lord's work. This is strict fucking.
We'll see these guys next week probably. Or
all right, yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe if you're on the YouTube. Drop a comment, a like. Help your boys out a little
you
bit.
You old fucker on the YouTube.
We're trying to find some sort of wave to catch on the algorithm of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We just need we just start the fire. Just light the fire and let it take off.
Should we post something like fucking Kim Kardashian has sex with Pete Davidson live on air?
I'm gonna say that Pete Davidson sexually assaulted me in a Nordstrom Rack fitting room as the title, and hopefully that fucking does it.
It should.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Peace out.